What's up? It's Cherith, the Starry-Eyed Tarot Reader. So I'm continuing my deck collection videos, but today is my first Oracle deck collection video. I don't have as many Oracle decks as I have tarot decks. I have issues with Oracle cards, with like connecting with Oracle cards, so I don't have nearly as many as I do tarot. I would do this in order of like the first Oracle deck I got, but I don't remember what that was or which one that was of my Oracle decks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Oracle decks I have from the same deck creator. I have a couple of those, so we're going to start with the Oracle decks by Deja Drewit. Ooh, can't see it because of all the stuff I have in the way. Deja Drewit. We'll start with the first one of those I got, which was the Personal Power Oracle deck. So on this one it's going to be a little bit different because obviously, you know, Oracle decks don't have major and minor arcana. So, and because there's no like structured Oracle decks, they're really, it depends on the deck that you get. I am going, I've limited myself to, I think I have 6 cards from each of my Oracle decks. So I'll go through and I'll talk on each deck about my 6 favorite cards. So starting with the Personal Power Oracle deck by Deja Drewit. So my first one on this that is my favorite is the number 1 card, and it's called I Am Hopeful. So this deck is structured to be they're I statements. They're all I statements. They're all like I am hopeful, you know, I'm powerful, I'm divinely guided, I am stable, stuff like that, with these beautiful illustrations surrounding that phrase. They're really cool. I like this Oracle deck. It's probably one of the ones that I connect with the best. I like that sort of, you know, those I statements, and they are very hopeful statements. They're very powerful statements. So I very much like that. This is one of my favorites. I am hopeful, because to nobody's surprise, I should hope, there's stars in the background. It's very beautiful how, you know, this starry night background constellations is basically like, and this person is like see-through sort of, so it's like they are part of the stars, and I think that's really cool. My next favorite is number 12. The I statement on that is I am divinely guided. I like how Deja illustrated this with, you know, this person has like stars in their hair, and then there's this compass rose behind them and this map back here. So, you know, they're following their compass, and they're divinely guided. Yeah, that's really cool. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. My next favorite one is number 17, I Am Happy. Because this person reminds me of a dear friend of mine. So every time I see this, I do get happy because she's awesome and she makes me happy. She's a very good friend. I'm sure she is watching this. So, hello. My next favorite card is number 23, I Have a Higher Purpose. I really like Deja's illustrations. She uses a lot of stars and this, you know, watercolor background. I think that the way this person, I can't remember what this is called, I'll put it on the screen, but I like the way this person is illustrated with looking up towards the sky. It's just really beautiful. The next one is number 29, I Am Beautiful, because you are beautiful. Everybody is. And I like the way this is illustrated. This mirror mirrors, no pun intended, the back of the card, the sort of mirror on the back of the card, and I think that was really well done. And my last favorite is I Am Ready, number 30 in the deck. There's something about this card, like this person, is covering their face. It feels like they're not ready, but they're saying I am ready. So at any moment they're going to take their hands off their face and they're gonna go forward into this wilderness down here, and they're gonna find their way. Or I'm gonna find my way. I don't know. So I really like how that's illustrated. Oh, I was gonna add, sorry, at the beginning, I don't think Deja is doing physical decks anymore, so I apologize. There might be a few left in her shop, but I think my understanding is she's transitioning to, I think, like online content and some other content. She's really cool. I am subscribed to her newsletter. So the next deck I'm going to talk about is called My Quality Time Self-Care Activity Cards. And these are cards meant to like get you up and doing things, which we all need, especially those of us like myself who work in an office all the time and don't I'm not out on my feet doing things with my hands a whole lot, so this is a nice one to sort of break you out of patterns and get you up and doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. So again, I've picked my 6 favorite cards from this deck. The first one is Bake, because I bake a lot. I like baking. It's pretty much a staple. It has been for a few years now, that in the holidays I make cheesecakes. Cheesecake for my family. I like baking like little like mini cheesecakes and other fun little stuff like that. So I like this card because I'm a baker. I bake, so I appreciate this. My next favorite one is Bath. I actually just moved, so I have what hopefully are better baths now, but we'll see. I like using like bath bombs and bath oils and stuff, and I like the way that Deja illustrated this with like the rose petals or some sort of flower, and then what looks like is probably a bath bomb, but it makes it look like the sky. Again, really should be a surprise to anybody that I like illustrations that have some sort of celestial feel to them. My next favorite is number 20, Cafe. This one is one of my favorites because used this deck during the very first COVID shutdowns, and I drew this card, and I just started laughing because it was like, what cafe am I supposed to go to? Everything is shut down. And so every time I look at that, I think of that, and it's kind of funny. It's like, this deck is fun, is good to help you break out of patterns. That doesn't mean you have to do what's in the card if you are not able to. And I obviously wasn't able to go to a cafe because everything was closed. But it's still a really beautifully illustrated card. I love the watercolor effect on this person and sort of like the negative space in there. Really pretty. My next favorite one should not be a surprise at all is Stargaze. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe I like stars and stargazing. I also just moved. I'm in a new place. I'll talk about that in another video. I was going to record that video today, but I have issues with my recording equipment right now. My phone holder, my ring light. So at some point, probably within the next month, maybe in August, you'll see a video explaining what's happened. But I have moved. I have a nicer balcony that doesn't look out onto a street light. So hopefully I will actually get to stargaze at my new place, because I like just sitting out in the dark and staring at the stars like this person is doing. My next favorite one is Stretch. I like the way that this is illustrated with the I think it's a mandala in the background and this person being a silhouette. I think that is just absolutely beautiful. Also, it's a good reminder to, stretch, especially like myself, if you work in an office or you sit all day. Stretching is good. My last one is Nurture. I also grow some of my own food. I grow vegetables. I have a tomato plant and a couple pepper plants right now that aren't doing anything, and I'm very mad at them because I would like fresh tomatoes. But I also have a lot of plants in my house that I have managed to keep alive for a while now. So I like this card because I like plants. I like growing plants. It's fun to remember to do that and to get your hands in the dirt and to make something your own, basically. So yeah, that is the My Quality Time Self-Care Activity Cards by Deja Drewit. My last Deja Drewit deck is the Love Story Oracle cards. I initially wasn't going to get this deck. I think this is one of the ones I backed on Kickstarter. She did like regular Kickstarters for printings of her deck. I think this was one I backed on Kickstarter. I honestly am not sure. I initially wasn't going to get it, and then the more I saw it, I think this was a second printing that she did. So the more I saw like the first printing, the more I was like, I think I need this deck. It's got really pretty purple edges. Oh, the other decks I forgot to show. They also have pretty gilded edges that are like, I don't know what you call that, purple and like teal. Is that purple? Anyway, this also looks purple. So hopefully they are both purple, just like different shades of purple. But the more I saw of this deck, the more I was like, okay, I don't do like love readings. But something about this deck I really liked what I was seeing, so I decided to give it a chance, and it's a gorgeous little deck, and I've worked pretty well with it. I like this deck especially because it's not just a fluffy, what you might call a fluffy deck. It's not just like all the good parts, it's other things like this being one of my favorite cards, fear, because fear can hold you back. Fear can keep you from doing what you want to do and can make you feel like you're just on the outside looking in, like this person appears to be. It's one of my favorite cards. My mom's gonna watch this and then like call or text me and be like, see, fear is bad. Fear can be good too, by the way. Anyway. My next favorite card is Mystery. I like the idea of masquerade balls, and I like that this has that sort of element of like the mask and the stars around it, and that sense of mystery and wonder and beauty. My next favorite one is Freedom. I like the way that Deja illustrated this with the bird escaping the cage. I think that's really beautiful and becoming like more solid as it leaves. My next favorite one is Open Up. I like the sense of like the secret garden feeling of this card, where it's like there's a door covered by overgrowth. You gotta kind of, you gotta work at it to get it to open up. Hello, Figaro. That was Figaro, in case you heard that tiny little squeak. Hi, baby. Yeah. So that is one of my favorites. And then I like that this isn't a love oracle, because it's important to remember to love yourself. And so I like that Deja has this self-love. She also has one that's for like a friendship love card and like a family one. So I think that's really cool, because a lot of times I see like love oracles being all about like you and another person, you and somebody like outside your friends or outside your family or outside yourself, obviously. So that's part of the reason I have issues with like love oracles. So I like that there's this self-love card in here, and the way that Deja illustrated this is absolutely beautiful. There's no face on this person because it's self-love, so ostensibly you would see yourself in that card. And the flowers around it, the soft pinks and purples and stars. It's just really beautiful. The colors in this deck are absolutely gorgeous. I like the softness of it. I also like the decks or the cards have like this sort of hint of shadow, so it's almost like a piece of paper that's been crumpled up and then straightened out. I just think it's really well done. My last card is fun with hot air balloons, because it's important to remember to have fun, and that, you know, life is an adventure and you should have a little bit of fun. Alright, so those are the first of my Oracle deck collection with the 3 decks I have by Deja Drewit. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and bye till next time.